Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are recording episode 36 today, the Halloween Spectacular, or as I should say, the Halloween Spooktacular. I'm here with my co-host Jared. What's going on, buddy?
I would argue that Spooktacular has been trademarked, and someone must own that. Or is that public domain? It's just so widely used that anyone can use it at this point.
I would say during Halloween time, the spooks are everywhere. So hopefully it's
I think that's a racist.
What is that called? Common? How is that racist?
I believe spook is a racist term for.
Is it really?
I'll look it up. I believe it is.
Already off to a bad start this episode.
Honestly, when I heard that at first, I was like, there was just a little part of me that was like, oh, why?
Then maybe I should rephrase and say spooky. Is
spook,
that better?
According to Urban Dictionary, at least, a derogatory slur for a person of African descent.
Oh, God. Well, my apologies.
We'll
try to start off on the right foot and say spooky. How about that?
I don't know if that's better. I think that's just putting turning the racial slur into a adjective. I'm kidding. I don't know. I think
is that where it comes from? Maybe it does.
Oh, is that where the word spooky comes from? It's like scared black people.
Oh, God.
Oh,
this has already
like
started completely off in the wrong foot.
Hey, by the way, everyone,
man.
while I'm looking this up, if you want to tell us where the term spooky comes from, you can slide into the DMs on Twitter or just tweet us like a normal person. You can slide in, you could hit us up on Twitter, Untranslatable 1. You could, or you could look at our nice pictures on Instagram and videos, Untranslatable Podcast, or you could email us, and personally tell us if spooky is racist, but we accept it. And then, are we later gonna find out that like I don't know, like David Duke Estates owns the term spooktacular, and every time a company uses it, they got to pay David Duke like $20,000 or something. Probably more than $20,000, but
right.
So yeah, follow us on all of those places, please. Tell us about maybe the Untranslatable Podcast will be the first place where people stop using spooky or spooktacular, because all it really means is afraid of black people. Wow.
Good to know. I honestly didn't even know that. So we're already 2 minutes in, and I don't even I already learned something new. So thanks for the insight,
We're
Jared.
starting cultural revolutions here on the Untranslatable Podcast.
It's one of our many goals, without a doubt.
Yeah, although people are going to hate us. They're going to be like, oh, now we can't say spooky? Okay. What am I supposed to say then during Halloween? I don't have a word.
Could you say ghostly?
Ghostly? I don't think that's the same. Ghosts don't have to necessarily be scary.
So I guess maybe just stick with scary. I don't know. I don't have the answers here, Jared. Unfortunately,
me neither. You guys figure it out. See, I'm allowed to use spooky, and that's our word. You.
Okay. I see. So I can't use it. Fair enough.
I can't tell you what you're supposed. You figure that out yourself. That's
fair enough.
So today's Sunday, and I hung out with our buddy Nolan on Friday. He was in town, and he works for a beer company. So I took him to a place it's called the what is it called? Jesus! Oh, the Bottle Bar, which essentially it's a place where you can like buy beer to go. It has a bunch of beers from all over the place. But there's also like that's kind of the front area. Then if you walk back a little bit, there's a bar back there, so you can sit at the bar and drink like normal people, not like normal people, but you can drink at a bar. And so we were there for a bit, and since he was a beer person, I was like, well, I gotta take him to a place that's a cool place. It is a very cool place, and where there's essentially unlimited selections. And be like, oh, you like beer? Well, blah. And I mentioned, did I mention that he was giving me free beer last time?
Oh yeah, you did.
So
how was it?
Well, hold on. So on Friday he was like, oh, I can't bring the beer over, but I'll be over and blah blah blah. And so when he got there, I had to, one, obviously be excited to see him, which I was, and then two, not make it seem like I was that bummed out that he didn't bring the beer, because it's like, well, it's not about that. It's not about that. This is about us coming together as friends and old roommates. But I was a little bummed about the beer. However, while we were talking, he mentioned that he's like, oh well, like I'm flying back on Sunday, so I still have this beer. I'm gonna have to get rid of it at some point. So today, which is Sunday, he brought it over, then drove to the airport. But anyway, back to him. I'll put up a picture of the beer because there's quite a variety and the cans look kind of cool. Maybe I'll see if you've heard of it. It's called Tonewood Brewery in New Jersey somewhere.
Never heard of it, but as a guitarist, I hear that word tonewood quite a bit.
What does that mean?
I mean, tone woods are just the typical woods you use to construct a guitar and kind of their different timbres, the different sounds that the woods produce.
Interesting.
How was the beer? Did you like it?
I just got it today, and I haven't drank any yet. I was gonna get one ready for the pod. But then I had an idea. Well, the reason I didn't really is because it's 1:00, but it's Sunday. I don't mind drinking a beer at 1:00 on a Sunday.
It's 5:00 somewhere, buddy.
But then I did think, because I'm looking now and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kinds of beer. I could taste one on the pod. Not starting today, starting next episode.
Ooh, do a little beer review?
Yeah. Because
that's actually a great idea. I could also review some of my Czech beers I've been drinking.
Alrighty.
Here.
Well, we'll do that in the future. Although I did, I was told you I was doing the Sober October thing. Broke that. I was like, listen, I haven't seen this dude in freaking 6 years. I'm not gonna But I think I mean it's only been a couple hours, but I think I'm back on the wagon for the rest
on the
for the final stretch. But I was like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be like, no, let's go to a juice bar and talk about stretching. There was some interesting. So had some good beers. It was fun, good time. And we also went to a jazz bar, the one I mentioned to you that.
Oh, cool.
He's like, I want to see some live music, and I was like, I know just the place, and we went there, so that was fun.
Was Ron Burgundy there with his jazz flute? Did he bust it out?
No jazz flute, but solid old man band was jamming out. They were good.
What exactly do you mean by old man band? Like
they were old,
like a jazz trio?
Oh, they're playing like blues rock stuff. But they were just old, 60s, 70s maybe.
But like what instruments did the band have? I guess is what I was getting.
Drummer, keyboard, bass, guitar, just standard.
Oh, nice. So jazz trio.
Yeah,
sweet.
Well, no, there was 4.
Oh, okay. Bass, jazz quartet then.
Bass, drummer, guitarist, keyboardist.
Ah, okay, nice.
Yeah, so that was fun. Although we kind of lost track of time. We got there as they were playing the final song, and we only listened to 3 songs. And I looked at my clock. I was like, oh, it's 1:30. Now I realize.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it was good. It's fun catching up. There was a little bit where through a little bit we started talking about getting nostalgic about our times in Austria, and he remembered 2 very specific things happening that I have almost zero recollection of. One of them I kind of do, the other one I didn't. So he mentioned to me that we were on one of our, we were in the cultural events class where we went around to different museums and locations around the city.
Shout out to Frau Schackemeyer.
So it's funny that you said her name. I would probably recommend you didn't say that after what I'm about to say. It's actually not that bad, but at least not to me.
I think I might know where you're going.
Oh, do you really?
Continue. I might.
Well, can you say? Because I want to see if.
Does it involve the Natural History Museum?
No.
No. Okay. This is something different.
No, you mean at the top when we were. No.
Okay, no.
So apparently we were at some place that was had to do with Nazis and apparently this is what Nolan said. Apparently she was saying. she's like, yeah, here there were a lot of Jews and blacks were killed, and she like stared at me, and Nolan like asked me, he's like, you remember that? I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, and he's like, yeah, me and this one girl that he knows from study abroad, he's like, yeah, I was talking to blah 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 about it a couple of weeks ago. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then there was another one which I think I kind of remember. That wasn't that I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm sure she did. But then there was another one that I actually do kind of remember. That was it was me and him and then one other dude walking down the street, and this homeless dude started yelling at us, but I would say more specifically at me, and just shouting like "fuck you" and expletives as we were walking down the street. And he's like, "Do you remember that happening?" And I was like, I guess now that you say it, I do. But I wouldn't have remembered if he didn't bring it up. And he was talking about how like he's like it's just he's like, yeah, those two things really stuck with me. I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of got to get used to it if you're a black person. I don't know. But
I couldn't tell you, my man.
No, I know. But I just thought it was interesting that he like told me that it stuck in his mind, and I was like, yeah, I have little idea what you're talking about. Huh. But other than that,
interesting.
It was a good time. I mean, it was a good
class.
time.
We learned
in addition
a lot,
to that,
but
that didn't make it a bad time.
Right.
But it's always fun. It is fun catching up and talking about just bringing up like random people's names and be like, well, remember this person?
Right.
And usually I don't, because I'm just terrible with names. I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that was a person.
Right. Yeah, I feel you. I don't know. I think especially with study abroad, there's just so many so many things that you experience. Like it's definitely hard, I think, for your mind to remember everything, especially the little details like that Nolan remembered.
Oh yeah. Everyone remembers something. I'm sure there's things that I remember that he doesn't. I just maybe nothing that I thought to bring up. I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, probably. Although he made it based off of all the things he was telling me, I started feeling like maybe just my memory was terrible, because there was other stuff too, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that did happen. And I was like, oh
right.
yeah, no, I guess that did happen. I'm trying to think of another one. No, I can't think of any other ones. There's one of I can't think of any other ones. But see, I can't even think of it now, and it was 2 days ago.
Right.
But yeah, that's
what else has been going on.
That's it, man. That's all.
So I had a bit of an interesting lunch today. I went to this restaurant that's close to my apartment, right? And I ordered what I usually get, which is like this really good chicken steak and this like brown sauce.
You keep
with
saying
vegetables.
chicken steak, and I still don't really know what that is.
I don't. I mean, it's basically seems like a bigger, flatter chicken breast.
All right, I'm just gonna Google it right now. Check.
There you go.
Keep going. Sorry.
But so today I was really hungry. So I decided to order onion rings as an appetizer, right? I thought it would be like a small plate of onion rings, right? Because it was like dude, this looked like they just bought a bag at Costco, throw the whole damn bag in the fryer, and put it all on a plate. Like, I literally went home with a box like this. I don't know. It would be like, 4 or 5 inches by like 7, 8 inches, filled to the brim with onion rings. And I had like 10 or 12 of them.
Oh, that's pretty great, though.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was only like $3 for that appetizer.
That's almost like a little throwback to being home. Just unnecessarily giant portions.
But this was even bigger than I've seen in the States, dude. It surprised me. When he brought the plate out to me, I like made eye contact with him. And I was just kind of like,
That's right, bitch.
yeah.
Buckle up.
I was just
did
like,
you eat it there, or did you take it home with you?
I ate my chicken steak and as many onion rings as I could while I was there.
So you brought them home. Do they reheat well? Can you reheat onion rings?
I put them in the oven, and they're great. Put them in the oven, crisp them up. Also, that's the trick with French fries, my man. Everybody says you can't reheat French fries. They're just impatient and putting them in the microwave. See, you heard it here first on the Untranslatable podcast.
I almost feel like an idiot now, because I feel that way with pizza. I'm like, no one should be heating up pizza in the microwave. That like the oven seems like the
Nope.
obvious choice.
Nope. I always use the oven.
But that
too.
would never cross my mind for something like French fries or the onion rings. I'd just be like, you can't do it. Those are done. But I don't know why that wouldn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, it works great.
Chad, man, I wish I had some sort of hallelujah celebration, some sort of like. I'm gonna have one of these, but
there you go. You need to either get like a clapping in the background or something.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I don't know. So I had onion rings for lunch today with my chicken steak, and I had schnitzel for dinner with schnitzel and onion rings. Not a very normal combo, but hey, when you got like another 30 onion rings to eat, you got to eat them, right?
That's a dinner for champions right there.
Right.
Schnitzel and onion rings.
Uh-huh.
Huh. All right.
If I was a cool rapper, I would make a song called Schnitzel and Onion Rings, but unfortunately I'm not a cool rapper.
I think you could do it.
Yeah.
You don't. It doesn't have to
Who
be.
knows?
Have you ever written stuff before? Because you were in bands. It doesn't have to be rap.
I've written actually. Funny you asked that. I had band practice this morning.
What do you mean band practice?
I'm starting a band here in the Czech Republic, here in Komotov. And
how'd you find these bandmates?
Started,
Who are they?
One of them is a teacher at my school, and the other one is his younger brother, who plays drums.
And what does the other one play?
Guitar. So we're not sure yet if we're just going to somehow not have a bassist or if he's going to find himself a bass. I'm not really sure yet.
But it's already decided that you're playing guitar. You're like, that's happening. So you got to figure out what you're doing because I'm obviously playing guitar.
I'd have absolutely no problem playing bass. I've actually played bass in a band when I was younger.
That's not the way you worded it at first, though. The way you worded it at first was like, you got to figure something out, bro, because I'm obviously.
Let me put it this way: if we didn't have me on guitar, we wouldn't really have any lead guitar playing because he mostly plays like chords.
Right.
You know, and I have about 10 more years experience playing guitar.
So it makes sense because you could do the chords, but then also do some more interesting stuff.
Some fills and exactly. That's the plan. But anyway, so we actually started writing a song today. That's why I brought that up.
So how is it just starting to write with some people you've never met before?
The drummer laid down a basic drum beat, and we just started fooling around with a couple different chords until we found something we liked.
How's their English?
Mluvite anglicky. So his brother actually works in a German company and has to speak mostly English and a little bit of German. So his English is really, really good. Okay. And my colleague, his English is good. He's still learning. He doesn't, because he's a computer science teacher. It's not really like he needs English. So
are there going to be lyrics to these songs?
Eventually, but the problem is
and cry.
Yeah, we're starting an emo band. You caught me, Jared. You caught me.
That's like, I just imagine like a 45-year-old man with like eyeliner. And
oh, God.
Like khakis.
That'd be great. That would be too funny. Eventually, I think. But the other problem is, like, in terms of equipment, I have my little Traveler electric guitar and my little I have like a little amp here with me. We don't have a PA system, so no microphones yet. So I don't know if we're just. I don't really know to what extent.
You do have a microphone though. I guess you don't have a speaker to plug it into though.
Right. Exactly. I have two mics.
Yeah.
So that's true. Good point. I didn't think about that. I try to keep my podcast stuff separate though. So
the other one, your cheaper microphone is actually probably better for it.
Yeah, it would be without a doubt. I agree. But yeah, who knows? I don't know to what extent we are going to. If we're going to play any gigs, if we're just going to get together once a week and just jam. Either way, though, I'm happy about it because I have some people to play music with, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So that's crazy. Man, I like just your level of submersion blows my mind. And it really makes me feel like a real piece of shit.
well, Jared, like I said in a couple episodes ago, you can't. We all got different timelines, right. And since I know I'm on what's the right term here? I just have a short amount of time here. Yeah, so I gotta take advantage of it whenever I can.
We're still not convinced that you're ever coming back to America.
I mean, who knows, man? Depends on the job market. Depends on Depends on a lot of factors.
I think it's time for
we'll
people
see.
to start accepting that.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure yet, but who knows? Who knows? Anyways, should we start with some shout-outs?
Yeah, please.
So I only have 2 shout-outs today, and one is for let me find it really quick here. Okay, so my one big shout-out today goes to a gentleman in Tennessee named Yassine. I need to find his last name. Sorry, one moment. Yassine Taru, who is actually a Syrian refugee who apparently owns the nicest place in America, which is a falafel shop in Tennessee.
What do you mean the nicest
it was
place?
voted,
What does that mean? Like hello, thank you, you're welcome.
I think yeah. It just is. It was voted. It was voted
Okay,
as
Yassine.
one of the nicest
How's your
places
fucking
in
food
terms
taste?
of. I'm sure it's great, man. As this
The nicest
I'm
place.
skimming through this
That's what we're. Who gives that award?
right here. I'm not sure, but right here it says Yassine's Falafel House is about family, love, about building community. So we make sure when you get your food, you smile and feel the love with the food.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That almost sounds like a little too much love for my taste. Like, and I almost feel like I'd be a little too uncomfortable. Not like not in some weird. Like I don't think they're making it weird, but I'm like, I don't need this much love in my food transaction.
Oh, it's from Reader's Digest. Here we
Okay,
go.
they're a reputable.
Yassine's Falafel House, yeah, in Knoxville, Tennessee, was the winner of this year's Reader's Digest Nicest Place in America accolade.
Okay,
So there you go. I don't know. I just thought it was a really uplifting story.
me too.
I can tell, Jared. So uplifting, it's too much love for you. But what can I say?
It's so loving that they will not get my business. No, I would go there. But I don't think I need that much niceness in a transaction.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. It reminds me a little bit of Nazil's, you know. And
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've gone to the kebab place here in Chomutov so many times now that they do know me, and now I have attained my goal, Jared. Depending on who's working there, if I walk in, they tell me what I usually order, and I
yes.
just go, I know. And
Yes.
which means yes in Czech, and they fix it up for me. So trying to get on that homie status out here in Chomutov with my kebab brothers.
That is an underrated good feeling, is becoming a regular somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's this really awesome Egyptian guy at the kebab place who always, when I come in, hello, my friend, how are you? And we have like a nice little chat.
Have you gotten his name?
Actually, no, he hasn't asked me my name, and I haven't asked his name.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think eventually, though, I do need to break that name barrier with him.
Who dat? Yeah.
Exactly.
Just say it to
exactly.
him. Just right up in his face.
Who dat? Who you? Exactly. And my last shout out, though, because we are doing the Halloween episode, I want to give a shout out to all the parents, families, and communities out there who, one, make sure kids are safe while they're trick or treating in the United States. We'll get into that more when we discuss our main topic. But also just the fact that I want to also give a shout out to the parents out there who may get teenage trick-or-treaters, and they don't scoff at them. They don't say negative things about them, because the moral of the story here is, would you rather have your teens out trick-or-treating when they're too old to be trick-or-treating, too old in air quotes, of course, or would you rather be, them out with their friends vandalizing stuff or doing drugs or getting into any bad things? So there's my little Mr. Rogers take on a Halloween shout out for you. Jared's got a grin. I'm curious what Jared's gonna say.
I just tried so hard to just let you do this. It's just so nice. It's just so much love is being spread. It's hilarious to me. I don't know why.
You can rain on my parade
No,
if you
I
want.
don't
You're not
know.
gonna bother me.
I have nothing to say to that. That's fine. That's great. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I think there's something wrong with me, Chad. I think that's. I think that.
Well, Jared, that's why we make a good team. I'm too positive and corny sometimes, and you bring me back to reality.
No, I didn't want to do that though. I wanted you to enjoy yourself and get that out.
Well, I appreciate you letting me have my moment, buddy.
I remember This might have actually been on Christmas though, because I don't know why I'd be home in Louisiana at this time, but I was at my parents' house, and it probably was around Christmas or maybe New Year's. Anyway, one morning our neighbor's house was TP'd all over the place, like our direct neighbor right next to us, but not our house, just their trees and shit.
Interesting.
And I was like, wonder what's going on here. We watched the guy take it down all day. It's like, oh, that sucks, because it's. I mean, you pull on it and it rips, so you got to get up there with a ladder and like undrape it.
Yeah, that's awful. I've actually never gone TPing before.
I haven't either. So I don't see much benefit. Like it doesn't seem fun to me.
Just seems kind of wasteful to me.
Yeah.
Like I get that you're pranking somebody. I get that.
Also unoriginal at this point. What they've been, according to my research, they've been TPing since the 1930s. Find something new. This is 2018.
There you go.
Step up your prank game. Have you never seen the show Punk'd?
Right.
Pretend to steal someone's car and drive it off a cliff.
For some of our younger listeners, they may have not heard of Punk'd,
point.
though. Who knows?
I think they rebooted it, but it didn't last for long.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the same as the original. You can never reboots almost never hold up.
Yeah, that's few and far between for sure. Well, you know what reboots do hold up, Jared?
I believe I do.
Oh, what is that?
I believe the reboots of Untranslatables, bringing back great idioms, phrases, sayings, proverbs. That
all sorts of good language stuff for our language lovers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jared, do you mind if I get us started?
Please.
So I have one today. It is Japanese, and it is yoko meshi, which means literally means yoko is horizontal, and meshi means boiled rice.
Horizontal boiled rice. Horizontal rice.
Or you could also think of it as a meal eaten sideways. You could kind of look at it that way too.
Because what I was about to say was someone that gets scared, and I thought of you're so scared that like the rice is standing up, boiled rice is standing up.
I'm gonna give you half a ham horn on that.
Oh,
I'm gonna give you. Fair enough. So yoko meshi is actually the panic you feel when trying to speak a foreign language. And it actually comes from, it's interesting, so it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference to the Japanese language being written vertically, while most other languages are written horizontally. Right?
Okay. So it's just like, it's essentially saying like, this is all Chinese to me. Like, as you know, that's like
kind
what
of,
the Americans would say. It's like, I can't even recognize what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
My first one is Burmese. Another great alphabeted language. And I thought this was interesting. Burmese is the language they speak in Myanmar. But
Myanmar? Isn't it Myanmar? Or is it me? It doesn't matter. Continue. Sorry.
But that country, I don't know which one it is. But Myanmar. See, now I feel weird saying Myanmar because I've always said Myanmar. I'm going to keep saying Myanmar.
Go for it.
Because the country is Myanmar, but it used to be Burma, but it recently changed. I don't remember exactly when, but it recently changed. But they still go by Burmese.
Mm-hmm.
I find that interesting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, you're right. It is interesting. You're right, dude. It's Myanmar. My apologies.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what is the untranslatable?
Oh. Zagane Yanze. Zagazai. Zagazao.
What does it mean?
Oh, man. Less talk, less enemies.
So is this just like... This seems fairly straightforward.
It is fairly straightforward. I just liked how it sounded.
So it's just like don't have a big mouth, right? Like don't be cocky.
Yeah. Yeah. It just says be cautious with one's words, but yeah, it's essentially
nice. That's a good one.
Talk less. But I like that one. Less talk, less enemies. I think that's kind of how I live my life sometimes. Outside of the Untranslatable podcast. Then I welcome enemies. Because No press is bad press.
That's true.
No, but I feel like that's how I kind of live my life. Like, for example, on our flight attendant episode, there was a lot of talk about me just not communicating with anyone and feeling like that's me being the best passenger that I could be. And because
Annabelle thought differently.
she did, but I was like, there's nothing that I am doing wrong right now, and I'm being as efficient and unobtrusive as possible.
True.
Less talk, less enemies.
That's a
I'm
good
gonna get
one.
that
I like
tattooed
that
on
one.
my neck.
There you go. Damn, it won't fit. It won't fit on your fingers. I was gonna say.
No, it's a little too much for the knuckles, but I like where your head's at.
Right. Nice. All right. Well, mine is Czech for you.
Okay. Czech
And
for
it
me.
is, that's right. Just for you, Jared. You and you only.
Mama hoo-hoo.
Nebud Straspital. Those R's, man, they're tough. Nebud Straspital is, this one it literally means don't be a scared bag.
Just means don't be a scaredy cat.
Yeah, hit that hammer.
Scared bag.
Yeah. Or a bag full of fear. Straspital is a bag full of fear.
Okay. Alrighty.
Or it's kind of the equivalent of a little coward or scaredy cat.
Right. Little coward.
Sorry.
Scared. That sounds like I can imagine that being a SoundCloud rapper in like 2024.
Right.
Little coward.
You heard it here first, people. That's right.
Little coward. Out here 2025. I don't know what these people say on Instagram. Like a Lil Tay. Do you know who Lil Tay is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Of course you do. There's the other one too. The Catch Me Outside girl. She's got quite
let's not even mention her.
But she's got quite the Instagram career going on still.
I'm sure she does. That sadly doesn't surprise me.
My next one is Yoruba.
Oh, nice.
Which they speak in. Do you know where they speak Yoruba?
Nigeria, right?
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me take all right, here we go. Oiho buke kulobi supekunda ledama. A man's head with an evil mind does not curve like cutlass for one to know it. What?
I was thinking the same thing.
A man's head with an evil mind does not curve like a cutlass for one to know it. Yeah, all right. That makes sense now. Now that I said it like a normal person, it makes sense.
Can you give me an example? Because I'm pretty lost.
Say for example, me and you are hanging out and you see and some guy comes up to us and he's like, "Hello, I am stranger and I would like to make friends." And you being the loving, welcoming, loving person you are, you'd be like, "Oh, hello, stranger. My name's Chad. I'm from Michigan. Welcome. Please come into my home, and let's all be friends. Let's break bread together. Let's drink some liquid bread together."
Nice.
And I would say, "Easy, Chad. A man's head with an evil mind does not curve like a cutlass for one to know it." Do you know what a cutlass is? Mm-mm. A cutlass is a sword. It's like it's essentially a curvy sword, I believe.
So basically, if you're nice, you can, or if someone has an evil mind, no matter how nice you are, they'll still be evil. Yeah?
Not really. No.
Okay, give it to me.
It's essentially saying that someone's outer appearance is deceiving.
So
a cutlass is not a full-on curvy sword, but it's a sword that at the very tip curves. A full-on curvy sword, I believe, would be like a I can't think of what the curvy swords are.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Curvy sword.
Believe it or not, I'm not a sword expert.
Anyway, the cutlass has a curve at the end of it, so it's saying like the cutlass is obviously like gives away its prowess by its gives away that it's a cutlass by its obvious curve. Excuse me. But a man's head, you can't see its evil.
Right.
Apparently.
Interesting. Good to know. I mean, looks can definitely be deceiving. That's for sure.
It's really gonna bother me trying to remember what the curvy sword is called. The actual name for a curvy sword.
Google it while I start with my untranslatable.
Yeah, I don't like to do that because I hate watching you type away in your computer while I'm talking to you. So I don't want to do it back at you.
Fair enough. All right. Well, my untranslatable, I have two left for you. Both are Czech and both are kind of similar. So the first one is Kdo se bojí, umírá dvakrát, which means he who fears dies twice.
Nut up or shut up.
Nope.
It means that fears like I'm essentially saying like you're screwing yourself over with fear. I don't know how to explain it.
We have a specific phrase. We have a specific phrase in English for this.
Nut up or shut up.
That should be the new phrase for it. But the phrase we use is fear is worse than death itself.
Oh yes. Who said that? That's a
who dat?
That's a I think some author
Was that
said
FDR?
That. Oh, maybe.
I'm not sure. I think he said fear is worse than, or no. I'm not. He might have said that, or his wife maybe even.
His wife.
I'm not sure. You got me. Yeah, Eleanor Roosevelt.
Oh right. Apparently
quote, oh really? Quote by Gosho Aoyama.
Yeah,
is where that
and
comes
also
from.
To be clear, Chad is only saying that so confidently because it was the first result on Google. Just to be clear.
You're right. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I did that. That's essentially a step and a half above meme news.
Yep, true. True statement. You're not wrong.
I just need to make that clear. Is it my turn?
Yep, go for it.
My last one is Irish Gaelic, and it's Govmeliskal. Hold on. Govmeliskale.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea.
And it's accept my excuse.
Accept my excuse. So is that just like, is that as straightforward as I think it is, or is there something?
It is. However, I prefer, it means excuse me, pardon me, as you would think.
Right.
I prefer that wording of it. Because
accept my excuse.
First of all, I hate listening to people just give excuses. So I kind of like the straightforwardness. Is like, hey, listen, I'm just giving you an excuse. Please accept this. Especially like if someone's like late or something, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I was busy," and I was like, just like I don't need to hear your excuse. Just I would rather someone just be like, I'm gonna give you an excuse, and please accept it, but I'm here now.
Right. I actually read an article online a few weeks ago that was kind of interesting. This person wrote that instead of saying sorry, I'm late, phrase it into a positive and say thank you for waiting. I thought that was really interesting. Changing that sorry for blah, blah, blah to thank you for this, thank you for that.
That kind of makes it sound like a power move.
A little bit.
Where it's like,
who knows? Maybe we need to make some power moves, Jared.
I kind of like that, though. But like, thanks for waiting almost seems like it's expected that you should be waiting for me. It's like, thank you for waiting. Rather than like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't have to wait for me. It's like, well, this is what happens if you want to meet with me. Thank you for
that's right,
for being patient. I'm a busy man.
Kind of a big deal. Exactly. I don't know. Well, then maybe just pull out both of them if you want to make it less.
Accept
of a
my
move.
excuse.
I'm sorry for being late. Accept my excuse.
I'm better than
late.
you. That's the excuse.
Exactly. So my last untranslatable for this episode is also Czech.
How do you still have Czech untranslatables? Where are you finding these things?
I live in the Czech Republic.
I feel like these are not untranslatables. These are just like lyrics from your new song from your band.
You caught me.
cut my
caught
heart
me.
into pieces and
the
spread it
first
on the
song-
floor.
Exactly. The first song we have is He Who Fears Death Dies Twice. We're actually, like you said, we're an emo band.
Exactly.
He Who Fears Death Dies Twice. You caught me.
It's all
What can
coming
I say,
together.
Jared? You know me too well. I can't do anything past you.
That's
So this is, as I said, it's Czech, and it is Kdo se bojí, nesmí do lesa, which means if you're afraid, you shouldn't be in the forest.
Oh, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Ooh, hit that hammer a couple times, my man. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Good work.
I like that one.
I do,
Wait,
too.
say it again.
Kdo se bojí, nesmí do lesa.
Oh, it even sounds good in Czech.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure it would sound even better having a native
But the
speaker
way
say
you said it
but-
made it seem so nonchalant. Like, what are you doing here in this forest? If you wait, what was the English translation of it?
Well, the English translation is I guess really he who is afraid shouldn't be in the forest.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like, why are you here, you idiot?
Exactly.
You knew
exactly.
you were a coward.
That's right. If you can't stand the fear, get out of the forest.
Yeah. Yeah, you mixed the American one and that one.
I did.
One.
Did that on purpose. There's actually a phrase, I forget what it's called, but there's actually a phrase where you mix two idioms together.
I know there is a word. Well, this is portmanteau, but that's the
Or a
word for mixing two words together to make one word.
Right. I'm going to look it up real quick because this is going to bother me. All right, so Jared.
Like curvy sword. I believe it starts with an R, the curvy sword.
Yeah, I have no idea what we call the curvy sword. Maybe our awesome listeners out there could give us a little shout out on Twitter, Untranslatable1, and send us that. All right, let me see here. Oh, malaphor. There you go, my man. A malaphor is when two idioms are put together. For example, let's burn that bridge when we come to it.
Okay. Wait, let's burn that bridge
Right.
when we come. Okay, I gotcha.
Right.
So let's.
Or like you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
choose your relatives, but you can be a beggar.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Right. So those are malaphors.
It messes with my head for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. For sure.
I don't know why I don't like it.
It's just different. I feel you. Well, Jared, I
By
think
the way,
if
the sword I'm
Yeah?
thinking of is a saber.
Oh, geez, really? Wow, we blew that one.
Yeah, that's a curvy sword, right?
I think so.
See now I need to like make
Now
sure.
you're questioning it.
I'm getting a
Well,
lot of
well-
lightsabers. That's really annoying. Anyway,
They aren't even curved at all. They're completely straight. How does that work?
that's not the one I'm thinking of. God damn
Speaking
it.
of
Sorry.
Speaking of swords, though, Jared, have you ever used a sword in your Halloween costume?
Let me think. I don't think so. I think I might have used Sai at one point,
Okay.
which is what those pokey thingies that the red Ninja Turtle uses.
Yeah. The little dagger thingies.
Yeah, but
So does that mean you were a Ninja Turtle for Halloween?
no, I
one
don't
year?
think I was a Ninja Turtle. I think I was just a ninja, which I guess some might
Nice.
argue would be a cultural appropriation these days, which I want to bring up later.
Yeah?
But
Okay.
what are some memorable costumes for you? Some standouts.
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Well, I could start if you want.
Well, no, that's no problem. But before we even jump into it, though, I just want to mention for all of our listeners out there, this is our Halloween spectacular, and I think we should start off
Spectacular.
with
Now, Chad's
I
gonna-
didn't say it. Don't worry. I am, but actually, I'm going to talk about that later too in our main segment as well.
Chad's not scared to say
But-
spook.
That's right. That's right. But anyways, hey, being scared is a part of Halloween, though. Right? Anyways, I think it'd be good if we talked about kind of our own Halloween experiences in the United States, and also
Okay.
kind of as a backdrop, how we celebrate Halloween in the United States, and then we can get into some other things. Sound good?
Sure. Yeah.
So you asked about some memorable costumes, and I can tell you when I was, one of my first Halloween costumes, I was a pumpkin, as I'm sure many young babies are for Halloween.
Yeah, that's a common one.
I was a pumpkin, but
A sexy pumpkin.
Of course. Sexy 1 or 2 year old Chad Pumpkin. You know it.
Yeah, I wasn't proud of that joke, by the way. Let me just be clear.
Fair enough. Sometimes they sound better in our heads. I feel you. That's like the majority of the jokes I tell on this podcast. They always sound better in my head. So I'm right there with you, buddy. But yes. Well, last year I was Bob Ross for Halloween.
That's a good one. You got
and I tried
an excuse to grow out your beard first of all, which I know you're already excited for.
Yep. Bought like an afro curly haired kind of wig that I wore. So yeah, as Bob Ross, I was wearing. I had like a blue button down shirt that he wore and a pair of jeans. As you said, definitely made sure to have my beard nice and full.
Yeah.
For Bob Ross. I also tried to memorize a couple like kind of Bob Rossisms, right? Like there are no accidents, just happy mistakes or something like that. Try to randomly kind of sprinkle those throughout our
pretty
evening.
Little sunshine over here. Or I've never watched that show. I'm not gonna act like I know what he says. All I know is like the stereotypes, but I've never actually watched that show.
We're gonna draw another branch on this tree because everybody needs a friend.
It's kind of creepy.
They're great, dude.
When it comes from anyone else other than him.
Right. Oh, well, you know what? What's interesting though is apparently he was a drill sergeant in the Army. He got so sick and tired of yelling at people that after he was done with the Army, he never yelled again.
Wow. I hate this.
And he would churn out like hundreds of paintings. Like they would film his show in like 3 or 4 day stints, which is also pretty amazing.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Did he actually? Yeah. They sold those paintings, didn't they?
I don't know what they did with the paintings. I would assume so, but knowing Bob Ross, he probably donated them, or the money went to charity.
You would like to think, for all we know,
right.
his
Who knows?
his up and comings right around his comeuppance is right around the corner.
He's actually dead, unfortunately.
No, I know, but still, it could be posthumous.
That's true. Anyway, so that was one of my favorite Halloween costumes. I also, for some odd reason, when I was little, well, not for some reason, I can tell you the exact reason. I was obsessed with Woody from Toy Story. Mm-hmm. So I was a cowboy for like 3 or 4 years.
Okay, I was probably Woody once. I mean, that had to be one of the most common costumes back in the day when that movie was new, right? Had to have been.
Oh, for sure. What about you? What were some of your notable costumes?
Some notables for me, I would say, would probably be 6th grade when I went as Steve Urkel.
Oh, nice.
And so what I did was I had overalls on. I had on some sort of nerdy shoe. I don't remember what the shoe was. I had on like a button-up shirt, and then I had my mom's glasses that she had like her old glasses from like the 70s. Mm-hmm. And I just
nice.
And so there were these super big round glasses. And so I just poked out the lenses and had these big, essentially what would look like nerdy glasses now.
Right.
Or then, I guess it was years ago.
Now they'd probably be hipster
I know.
glasses.
Where'd you get those? Oh, those are legit vintage? I was like, you mean my mom's old glasses? Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. Did you talk like him too?
Probably. I hated that show. I honestly hated that show.
Wasn't that his catchphrase?
It was his catchphrase. I did not really watch that show that often.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I was
still quite a pop culture icon back.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, and that's exactly like I knew that phrase and I knew who he was, but I never really watched Family Matters. I was never a huge fan of that show. I was always gravitating more towards either Cosby Show or Fresh Prince. If we're talking around that time.
Oh, I loved both of those shows too, growing up.
But yeah, I was never a huge Family Matters. But it was also, you don't even have to be a fan of the show for the Urkel to be everyone to know it.
Right. Any other costumes? That sounds like a good one.
Brad and I, Brad is the...
Oh, yeah. You guys were Turk and JD from Scrubs.
Silent third co-host of this podcast.
Right.
Yeah, we went as Turk and JD. And that was an easy one because all I had to do was buy what color scrubs were mine? Green, I believe.
Yeah, and his were blue, right? If I remember correctly.
And I got my head shaved damn near bald, which whatever, I guess it grows back.
It grows back.
And so that one was another good one, only because it was simple and recognizable. I'm not a huge dresser upper though. I'm not a huge celebrator, believe it or not, everyone. I don't.
I mean, I'm usually not either. The last couple of years, I had kind of an easy cop-out. As you know, when we were in Austria, I made sure to get me a couple pairs of lederhosen. And so that's always my backup go-to.
Well, what is that? What are you dressing up as? A German?
Just a German guy, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because you've also worn them just as like clothes.
Yep. I'm weird like that. What can
I'm
I
not
say?
saying you're weird like that. I'm just saying, does it count as a costume if they're also... I mean, I guess it does, because, yeah. But what are you dressed up as, I guess is the real question.
Right.
So
then you have to speak with the German accents the whole
God.
evening.
German accents are kind of creepy to me. Now that when I hear them spoken by Americans, like for example,
Okay.
Nolan doing the Austrian German accent the other day, I was like, I don't like it. It always sounds very World War II.
It can sound a little sinister.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably because we watch so many. I don't get it. I don't know why they don't just put World War II movies in German with English subtitles when the Germans are talking instead of having them be speaking English with a German accent.
Yeah,
I've never understood that in movies, but yeah. Well, Jared, I was
never
wondering.
even thought about that.
Right. So I was wondering. I want to pick your brain a little bit.
Please.
Do you have any good costume ideas or funny costume ideas for our listeners out there who are celebrating Halloween?
For this year?
For this year or for next year?
See, I didn't really think about that. I do have the list of the most popular, but I wouldn't really recommend any of these.
Okay.
Well,
then maybe we should start with that. Ones you would not recommend.
Well, the number one. Well, can you guess what the number one most Googled Halloween costume is for this year? You should and I'll say this. Really, only a few of them are even culturally relevant to today. Number one is very relevant. Relevant. Oh my God. Number one.
You were trying to give me a hint there.
No,
right
that was not a hint. That wasn't a hint. Not
okay.
at all. Nothing to do with.
I don't know. I feel like
it's a video
game. A lot
game.
of people. Oh, is it Fortnite related?
This just says Fortnite.
Okay. Interesting.
Number two is Spider-Man, which I guess is kind of relevant because there's the new game and stuff, but I guess it's not just relevant to my life, but people seem to be. That's Unicorn is number 3.
I feel like superheroes are Unicorn is 3.
Yeah. I don't know why, but
interesting. I feel like superhero costumes are going to be around every Halloween.
You know what I think will be a popular one that's not on this list, especially for me.
Black Panther?
Maybe. Yeah, some sort of Wakandan character. Maybe not Black Panther specifically, but like maybe the girl would go as like the little sister or like the general woman Michonne from Walking Dead. One that I think will be on the list, especially for someone like me that lives in Philadelphia. I think Gritty's gonna be a big one.
What is that?
You don't know who Gritty is?
Oh wait, is Gritty
that creepy mascot for the
Philadelphia Flyers? Yeah. He's like orange, right?
Yeah, he's got big googly eyes.
Nice.
I bet you that will be a popular one around here.
Could be. I was also thinking maybe just someone going as like an Eagles jersey since they won the Super Bowl.
That's an easy one. But yeah, probably.
I'm also gonna go out and say it. I think there are gonna be a lot of Donald Trump Halloween costumes.
Probably. I didn't even want to say it, but probably.
Yeah. We'll see, but those could be either seen as good or bad, right? I mean,
a lot of people are probably gonna be doing it to make fun of them, but even still, it's like, I mean, a little part. At least me personally, I would feel like even if you're making fun of me, I would kind of still feel like I'm winning. If you're dressing up as me,
I feel like
at least me personally, that's how I would feel.
Right. Well, I'd
be like, yeah, you might hate me, but you're dressed up as me.
Right. Exactly.
Who's really losing?
You just hate
here?
me because you ain't me.
Yeah. It's like I'm not dressed up as you because I have no idea who the fuck you are.
Right. I think it'd be funny if somebody dressed up as Kanye West when he did.
He's probably going to be a popular one too. Oh yeah, some sort of giant water bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Or the square costume.
Yes,
that he's in that music video
with those giant.
You
slippers.
could also easily do Kanye West by just getting a red hat and wearing like a baggy like. He wears some interesting clothing too. So you know what you could do is wear a
wear a Make America Great Again hat than like ripped like thrift store clothes and like have a price tag on it that says like 3,000 or something.
Exactly. For sure. Well, yeah, costumes I think are a big part of our Halloween traditions in the United States.
I think Go ahead. I think another big part that's specifically United States is trick-or-treating. I don't think...
Oh, for sure.
I think other countries do it, but I think it's very new to most other countries.
Yeah, and I think most countries have started to do it because of...
Us?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Did you know that in America, Halloween is the number 2 most like financially grossing holidays?
Oh, that doesn't surprise
number
me.
One's
the amount
obvious.
of money... Christmas, for sure.
No,
right?
April Fool's Day. No, it is Christmas, yeah.
You just had me fooled. Some of my favorite, though, things about Halloween, obviously, are the costumes and the candy, but I really like the fact that Halloween allows people, you can get some really funny and creative costumes.
Yeah. But
you know,
people, there's always the people that try to go too far.
Yeah.
Every single year, there is at least one story of someone in blackface or something, or like,
people need to knock that shit off for sure.
And it's like, what? I can't dress up as Beyonce. It's like no one has a problem with you dressing up as Beyonce, but you can also dress up as her without going full blackface.
Exactly.
I'm one of her biggest fans. Really? Have you ever listened to one of her songs? Seems like she'd disapprove of someone dressing up as blackface.
Right.
But there's always those stories, and then there's always or some story of like someone with like a full on like Native American attire.
Oh yeah,
or something ridiculous like that.
Or wearing like a poncho and a sombrero.
Yeah, that's another popular one. There was someone. Well, I won't name him because he's, I guess, I would say one of our friends. Granted, I don't really call him my friend. So he went as quote unquote Mexican one time, and he had a popular accoutrement for the Mexican person is the bandolier of bullets, but with shot glasses.
Oh, yeah.
That always seems like a bad look to me. It's like, really?
What are some other costumes that people might want to avoid for Halloween if they don't want to?
Might want to avoid. Listen,
you know, because we're talking cultural appropriation here. Obviously,
people can do whatever they want. I stand by that. I say this though, but you have to be willing to accept the consequences. You have to be like, you can't be shocked if people get mad at you. But I think you're welcome to do whatever you want. When people always say, "Oh, people are taking away our rights," it's like, no. Just because you do something doesn't mean people don't have the right to be angry at you for it. But you're still welcome to do it. No one's arresting you for your blackface. But yeah, people are going to be mad.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually really like that philosophy, Jared. I think that's a good one.
Oh, thank you. A lot of people just say "mama hoo hoo" to my philosophies. I just wanted to say I just like hitting that button. That's really all I.
Fair enough.
No, but let me try to think of some other ones that I can't think of any, like Pocahontas. That's still Native American. Oh, there's usually like some sort of geisha situation.
Oh yeah,
that's all probably a strong no.
I've also seen people go as like well, not me personally, but I've seen online, like saw a picture of this guy who was half Bruce Jenner and half Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
tacky.
I just feel like that's not really cool. Yeah, exactly. It's just tacky.
Yeah, that hasn't been like, that joke hasn't been funny since like the 70s anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Can't make up yeah, no, that's dumb. It's like I feel that way kind of like the same way I feel about Donald Trump, where it's like, really, like that is just lack of originality.
Right. I did see online somebody dressed up as Justin Timberlake from the SNL skit Dick in a Box. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah.
They had a box, like attached to their belt.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. I like that one.
Yeah, you get that weird goatee thing that he had in the
Yep, exactly. And the like kind of weird 80s or 90s hairstyle.
Yeah, no, I can't think of I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I'm sure there's plenty, by the way.
Oh yeah,
we haven't.
Absolutely.
There's so many we haven't thought of.
That's true. I feel like a lot of safe bets are
Rastafarian.
Oh, that's true.
I'm kind of sick.
That's
I'm
true.
kind of sick of the hats with the dreads coming out the back.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I would say some safe ones are like, maybe like you were Turk and Brad was JD. I feel like usually like television characters are a safe bet. Like I've seen pictures of people being like couples being Jim and Pam from The Office.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a cute idea.
The funny thing about
Beauty and the Beast.
the funny thing about the Turk and JD one was that like really Brad and I always joke about how like I have the personality of JD and he's more like Turk. It's like, yeah, but we can't do that. Like there's no like we just got to do it. We just got to play it the way that obviously we can't be like, well, my personality is really more like JD, so I that's why I'm the white dude.
Right.
It's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, those are popular ones. I mean, there's plenty of. Oh, and number 6 on the top 10 most searched Google's costume ideas for 2018 is Harley Quinn. Do you know who Harley Quinn is?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And actually,
She's
7.
The,
go ahead.
girlfriend of the
Sorry,
Joker, right?
Is that who she is?
From Suicide Squad?
I knew she's from Suicide Squad. I didn't know that she was the girlfriend of the Joker. I've never seen that movie.
I haven't either, but that's what I've read.
And then number 7 is just superhero. What kind of person is just putting in superhero?
Right. Ooh, this would be a good idea. You could be Forrest Gump. That'd be pretty easy.
Yeah, but see, these are all ideas that it's like Forrest Gump came out fucking 30 years ago at this point.
That's true.
I feel like part of the fun of it is finding something that's culturally relevant. Like, I bet you a popular one, for example, let's keep it in this decade. That little yodeling kid. Who was that kid that yodels?
Oh, Mason Ramsey.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
The grocery store yodeler. I also feel I saw this little kid at the grocery store today or yesterday that was doing that little dance where you like thrust your hips side to side. Anyway, another one that I was actually just thinking of, actually in bed yesterday, oddly enough. By the way, you said you like Chris D'Elia. You're not a big Twitter person, but on Twitter, Chris D'Elia always makes jokes about how Tekashi 6ix9ine is such a hot chick and how he thinks she's so hot. And he's like, she is the hottest chick. He's like, oh my God, what the things I would do to her. Whenever there's like news about him, he'll be like, oh my God, she is so hot.
I feel like a lot of those mumble rappers with you could get fake face tats.
Yeah, so I feel like
I do that.
Tekashi,
same with Post Malone too.
Yeah, I bet you Post Malone will be even more popular. The only reason Tekashi came to me is because he has like the rainbow colored hair, and he has all of it, and he just looks like a Dragon Ball Z / Yu-Gi-Oh character. But yeah, you're right.
That's true.
I don't know why
God,
I focused on
so
Tekashi
true.
because really any of those, like just mumble rapper or SoundCloud rapper, is probably going to be a popular one.
Right. Another one too maybe. I mean, you could get a Chance the Rapper hat and also be Chance the Rapper.
Yeah, I've seen that one
Or
before.
even a White
get the
Sox
overalls
hat.
and get like the overalls and you could do that one for sure.
I feel like too Eminem probably wouldn't be that difficult.
But still, these are still things. Even though
I too old?
Even though
Is that too old? Fair
Chance
enough.
Chance the Rapper is still relevant. That look, that like popular look of him with the overalls and the hat, has been around for a while, for a couple of years.
Okay,
I
fair
would
enough.
say.
All right, well here maybe this one will be more relevant for you.
Serena Williams, I
going-
bet she'll be a big one.
Oh, that's true. In her what do they call that? The cat suit.
Yeah.
The all black.
Yep. And I bet
What
you that's
about,
pretty easy to do.
Here's a good one. Snapchat filters.
Oh yeah.
You could wear like a flower crown.
Oh,
like they
yeah.
have that
Or
one
like
filter,
some,
or the
like-
dog ears.
That's interesting too, because the dog ears, really, the animal ears are going to go full circle to where it used to be like I'm a cat as like the stereotypical costume, and now it's gonna be I'm a cat, but like I'm a filter of a Snapchat
I'm a
cat.
Snapchat filter
Snapchat cat.
right?
I'm not a cat. I'm a Snapchat cat. It's totally different.
Right. Trying to
See,
think,
there's
what are
no
some
tail
other-
because you.
Right, because you wouldn't see it. What are some other good? I feel like Bernie Sanders would kind of be a funny one.
Bernie Sanders, yeah, I could
You
imagine
get
that.
that like old guy kind of like wig thing you put on.
I'm trying to think.
It's kind of.
See, I'm
bald.
just going off the top of my head right now.
I'm trying to think of other ones as well that like would be more culturally relevant.
Well, while we're thinking, can I ask you this? And we can
Absolutely.
sprinkle in other ones if we can think of them. You know what's always a staple? I just thought of
What?
one. Jesus. There's always a Jesus in there.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I feel like you
I've
could
also
do it.
seen some popes.
Yes, Pope is a very popular one. I'm not a
Pope.
religious person by any means, but I always do feel like the Pope ones. For some reason, I'm always like, listen, I don't fully care, but this does seem a little offensive.
Right. Oh, speaking of cultural things, you could go as Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh yeah. Or
As
Elon
Mark
Musk.
Zuckerberg. Oh, yep. Or speaking of social media, you could get like the Instagram kind of. I've seen people print off like what looks like an Instagram like window and then like just hold it up or like put it on your shoulders to your face, so you're an Instagram post.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. I wonder if kids go as like YouTube stars.
Oh God!
Like,
I hope not. Like Logan Paul.
Yeah,
or
like
somebody.
I'm
Yeah.
Casey Neistat.
Right.
Can't you tell by the way my hair is coiffed to the left?
Right. Salt Bay would be a pretty good one.
Yes.
You just need a white T-shirt and the glasses.
Oh yes, was Salt Bay around for last Halloween? Did that come around before Halloween or
Not
after?
Sure.
Salt Bay is a
not
phenomenon.
sure.
He's still out there killing it. Like every
is.
now and again on Twitter, you'll be like, Michael Beckham got served by Salt Bay or some crazy.
Right. Also, you could do goat yoga, where you dress up in like a yoga outfit and have like a little stuffed goat on your shoulder.
That's hashtag relevant.
Right. Right. Yeah.
When did you stop trick or treating? When did you start and when did you stop?
I probably went with my parents when I was really young. I would think like 1 or 2.
Yeah, your
probably.
parents seem like
In a
that.
stroller.
Especially your mom
Yeah.
seems like she would do that. My parents don't give a shit like that. No offense, they're
Okay,
good
fair
people,
enough. They're great people,
but they don't give a shit like that.
Right. And then I probably stopped, I don't know, 13 or 14, and then I sat and
Okay.
would hand out candy with my dad, usually.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you're never one of the ones going at like 17, 18,
Nah.
just spreading love at your home, because you did say don't discriminate against old trick-or-treaters. Is that your
No,
firm
and
stance
I-
in the sand? Do you stand
Yeah.
by that? Do they need
do
a
stand
costume?
by
Do
it.
they need a legit costume?
Hell
Well,
yeah,
you
they
turn
need a
them down if
costume.
they have like just some freaking cat ears, and it's like, I'm a cat. It's like you're wearing jeans and the Ramones T-shirt. Do you even know who the
I mean-
Ramones are?
I mean,
You 18-year-olds?
I'd give him a piece. I'd give him a piece of candy
Ooh,
or
piece of
two.
candy. Just one piece of candy.
Yep, just one.
Yeah.
You lack creativity, one piece for
Keep
you.
the good
one
stuff
piece
for
only.
the people that actually commit.
Also, who in their right mind leaves a bowl out on their front porch and just says take one?
And who also
Why do
just
people
takes,
do that?
Who also just takes one?
Exactly. Like, to me, I get that you might be busy or whatever, or maybe you just don't want to be involved with Halloween. Maybe you hate children. I don't know. But either way, like, that just to me is not a smart idea.
So here's what I just realized we need to do right now. We cannot have a Halloween episode if we're not going to do an official, untranslatable official Halloween candy ranking.
Ooh, all right. Let's do it.
So, I'll say personally, for number one, it almost seems like it's the undisputed, and it has been the undisputed.
I have no
I
idea.
thought you were gonna at least take a guess.
For candy?
Yeah,
I mean, I would say any king size.
we're
candy
not
bar.
talking size though. We're talking pure candy, like the actual kind of candy.
Yeah,
The
I
one
don't
that
know what-
reigns supreme and always will is the Reese cup.
Oh, good call.
I'd-
I was gonna say either Reese's or Snickers.
Snickers I'm. That's the thing, is I'm not a huge Snickers fan, but when it comes to
Okay.
trick or treating and Halloween, I'm never mad at getting a Snickers. I'll always happily eat the Snickers, but it's also something I would never seek out outside of Halloween. But when I do get a big Snickers, I'm like, I'm not mad at it. I'll happily eat
Right.
this. But I'm also,
Right.
I'm not going to be in a grocery store staring at the candy section and being like, that Snickers calling my name, because it's never calling
That's
my name.
true. I agree with you though. Reese's cups are definitely number one. Or even I don't even mind like a little fun size bag of Reese's Pieces.
Yes. I'm not a huge fan of Reese's Pieces, but
Okay,
I do know that people love the Reese's Pieces.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what would you rank your number two?
Number two, peanut M&Ms.
Oh, okay. I would agree with you. Number one is Reese's Cups for sure. I might give number two to either Kit Kat or Snickers. Not even gonna lie.
Okay. I'm not a huge. See, that's the thing. I'm the same way with Kit Kat, where it's like people. No, Kit Kat. I might go 3 on Kit Kat.
Okay. Okay.
Because I was about to downplay it real quick, and I was like, "That's not true. You're lying to yourself. I can hear it."
What would you? So
One that's
like
a rare
2 and
Halloween
3.
candy, but I love is the cookies and cream Hershey's.
Oh, the Hershey bars.
But that's not a
Ooh,
common
those are,
Halloween candy.
That's true. I feel like those are kind of expensive too,
I don't know.
especially if you get like a big size bar.
Skittles.
I'd say for me, Skittles are. Oh, you're right. Oh man, they might have to go in 3, maybe even take the 2 spot.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
See, I got to be in the mood for either like sometimes it's chocolate or
Right.
sometimes it's like kind of something more sweet or fruity.
I've
You know what I
honestly,
mean?
in recent years, I've struggled with eating candy just because I feel like I'm hyper aware of the fact that I'm just mainlighting sugar into my teeth. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Oh, for
so
sure.
I think I actually kind of have a little bit of like I'm kind of scared of candy these days because it's like I can't do this to my teeth. It just seems like abuse.
Right. That's fair.
Although a couple
I
episodes
would-
ago, I did eat a full bag of peanut M&Ms. I was at the grocery store right before we started, and I'm like, "Fuck it," and it was great.
Hey, you gotta enjoy yourself.
But once again, this is
sometimes-
sober October, Jared. So,
Yeah, that's right. You gotta get.
well, let me ask you this though: what would be
rush.
better, me drinking a beer during the episode or eating a large bag of peanut M&Ms? I'd say the beer's better.
I'd say probably the beer's better. Like on the beer, maybe.
Right, that's fair.
I don't know. It's a good question. I would also say though, I don't know about you, but I love those like green apple, like half green apple, half caramel or caramel suckers. You don't like those?
I don't have a problem with them, but they only seem to show up during Halloween. Also,
That's true.
I
That's
like
true.
I'll enjoy 1 or 2 of those, but it's like I'm not searching for those. Oh, an underrated. I would say would be Crunch. I do like Crunch.
Oh, Crunch bars are good for sure.
Those are
I
simple.
also am a
simple
Butterfingers
candy.
fan.
Butterfingers is another one where it's like I can eat one of those, and it's like this just feels like I'm full on like abusing, like physically assaulting my teeth right now when I
Right.
when I eat it.
So here's a big Halloween candy question for you though, Jared. What are your thoughts on candy corn? Love it, hate it,
Hot
what
button
do
issue.
you?
I've switched. I used to love it, but then in the past couple of years, every time I put one into my mouth, I've almost had an instant reflex to spit it out. So I'm gonna
Okay,
put it. I'm gonna put it into the trash folder and
fair.
shoot it up into space. Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I used to be as a kid. But I think that might have just been more as a kid. I was a fan of sugar rather than as a
Right.
kid. I was a fan of candy corn. What about you? Seems like you like it. Because we might have to end
I'm
this
the same-
podcast right now.
I'm the same as you actually.
Garbage?
When I was younger, I would eat a lot of it, and now I can't eat it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess just taste buds changing or something. But yeah, I can't eat it.
Do you want me to name some popular? This is as of 2017, but do you want me to name some popular candies by state?
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
By the way, I already let me start with California, and I'm starting with California because I've really lost a lot of respect for them just based off of this quiz already.
okay.
Almond Joy, bunch of
Oh
fucking
no!
serial
What do you do in
killers over there.
California?
The hell? Oh wait, and let me not also leave out who is that? What state is that? There's another state here that also has almond joys. It looks like Utah. Yes, Utah also has almond joys. You weirdos.
Get out of here, California and Utah.
Michigan. Do you want to hear Michigan? Because we're both from Michigan.
Of course I do.
Michigan is $100,000 bar, which I don't even fully know what that is. Like I
never
know
eaten
it.
one before.
I recognize the name. Oh, also by the way, it looks like Illinois is also $100,000 bar. I mean, excuse me. Also, Almond Joy. I just need to point out all the Almond Joys.
All the almond joys.
Yeah, they're also Almond Joy. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of $100,000 bars, but I also don't. I honestly couldn't really tell you what they are.
Right.
I'm surprised by the low number of.
Are there any Reese's?
Yes, I'll go through some of the Reese's states. This is tough because there's a map where they have like the candy, and then below that they have it in alphabetical order. So I have to like look at the map and like
Oh yeah.
know
and then find
what
the state.
yeah, like all right, that's because I'm looking at I'm sorry. Arkansas is Reese's. Shout out to Arkansas.
Doing it right.
Let me just go through them. Alabama's Airheads. Airheads.
Interesting. They're okay.
Do you ever take
Not
the
my
time to
top.
shake them and actually turn them into a ball?
People do that.
Yeah, if you shake it from the end, it takes like a bit, like 20 minutes or so. Like if you shake it, it'll just turn into a ball in the wrapper.
Really?
Yeah, that's why in the
I
commercials,
didn't
where they
know
like
that.
blow up like that.
Uh-huh.
You can actually do that. I mean, it's not going to explode like they do in the commercials, but if you shake them from the end for long enough, they turn into balls.
Huh.
There you go.
Interesting.
There's a fun fact for everyone. Arkansas's Baby Ruth. Oh, excuse me. Wait. Arizona's Baby Ruth. Sorry.
Okay.
Another throw it out in the trash candy. Baby Ruth. Oh.
Yeah, no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. I'd rank that and Almond Joy probably in the same category.
Wait, no.
of
What's
awfulness.
AK? Excuse me. AK's Alaska. I fucked this all up. Alaska, Reese's. Arkansas, Baby Ruth. Arizona, Double Bubble. Which also, you can kind of throw that in the trash, too. I don't want gum.
Right.
Colorado's Twizzlers. Not a big fan of Twizzlers. I'll
Yeah,
eat
me
them,
either.
but that's more the junkie, the sugar junkie in me more than it is the candy aficionado.
Right.
DC, Swedish Fish. Everybody loves Swedish Fish.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan, but everybody loves them. Twix is Connecticut. I mean, who wants to go to Connecticut anyway? To be
Twix
honest
is
with you?
good.
You should just be avoiding that state.
Just lost a couple listeners in Connecticut.
They
but
know.
It's okay.
They're trying to get out. Delaware is York Peppermint Patty. The candy is just as forgettable as the state. That's hilarious that their candy is York Peppermint Patties. That just makes me feel like no one in Delaware is under the age of 87. Florida, Snickers. Snickers is a staple. Can't go wrong with Snickers.
Yeah.
Georgia's also 100-gram bar. Hawaii, Snickers. Iowa's Nerds. Nerds is similar to me with the used to love them, but now it feels like I'm assaulting my teeth with
Yeah,
sugar.
they're too sweet. Yeah, I agree.
Idaho is Nut Goody. Ooh.
Never
Never heard of that
before.
one. Although it sounds
Maybe
like
maybe it's a candy straight from that state.
Yeah, maybe. All right, that's New Mexico's Jolly Rancher. It's kind of a weird one.
Huh. Whenever I think of Jolly Ranchers, I think of one of my high school German teachers. She would always have a bag of Jolly Ranchers, and if you did good in class, she'd always like toss you one.
Yeah, like trying to train you, almost.
Right.
And Pennsylvania, since I'm here, I might as well bring it up. Could you guess what it is? Because at first I was like, why would it be that? And I was like, oh, of course.
Oh, of course. Oh, well, it's something Hershey's.
Yeah, it's just
Hershey.
Yeah.
Hershey's chocolate.
This is the Hershey's chocolate bar, which
Okay.
almost seems like that should also be a crime to serve someone that and say, here's some chocolate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of the like standard, I guess.
I don't even know if they're allowed to call it chocolate anymore. Like, I don't think they call it a Hershey's chocolate bar, or if they do, they have to like the wording has to be very specific because I think legally
Why is it
it's
not chocolate anymore?
legally it's barely chocolate. It's just a sugar treat.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
With some
Okay.
cocoa in it.
Huh. Interesting.
Oh yeah, I believe they call it Hershey's candy, and not Hershey's
that makes
chocolate.
sense. That makes sense. Okay.
But no, it looks like they call it milk chocolate. Whatever. I don't know why I'm getting off on this tangent. Anyway, do you know where Halloween started? This is news to me.
I believe it was either Scotland or Ireland, right?
Yes. They had some festival called, sorry, I gotta find it. Oh, it was widely believed that Halloween traditions originated from ancient Celtic harvest festivals, particularly the Gaelic festival Samhain.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that how you say it? Samhain?
I think. I don't know.
That such festival may have had pagan roots in that the Samhain itself was characterized as Halloween by the early church. So they're saying it had pagan roots, and essentially because they were by harvest festival they mean they were like praying to the earth to or like in some way worshiping the earth in order to do rain dance-esque things in order to get good harvest the next year.
Well, I think it also stems from the Celtics believed that the barrier between our world and the spirit world became thinner at the end of the summer.
Which
is
what
when they
do you
would
know why that
celebrate
is?
this. I don't know. I would assume just religious reasons or something.
Okay.
But basically, they had this big party to scare away all the ghosts and evil spirits.
Mm.
Do you know what we used to call Halloween before we called it Halloween?
All Hallows Eve.
Yes, sir.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I actually wasn't positive on that one.
Yep. Yeah, and that was when obviously that has to do with like the Christianity. And yeah,
it
the
seems
day
like
became known as-
Christianity kind of rebranded Halloween. Like they
Little
kind of
bit,
stole it away
yeah.
from the pagan thing. It almost seems like because they knew it was a thing that was here to stay, so they didn't like people. Like that's the sense I got, is that they.
Well, I think a lot of Christmas traditions also are rooted in paganism, aren't they?
Yes. Well, yeah.
So yeah, I agree with
But
you.
I guess Christmas is another one that kind of got rebranded as a Jesus wasn't even born in December, theoretically, from what I've heard.
Right.
But yeah, I
Just so,
I think
just
especially anything
Go
that like these holidays that are now so strongly rooted in like materialism and almost worshiping the products.
right. Yeah, I mean a lot of it definitely has to do with consumerism. I would agree. And actually, it was according to my sources here from BBC, Irish immigrants is what raised the they raised the popularity of Halloween during the 19th century. And yeah, so we talked about a couple staples of Halloween in the United States: trick or treating, eating candy, dressing up. Another big tradition that we forgot to mention was pumpkin carving.
Oh yeah.
That's a big deal.
Did you hear it? Did you know what they used before pumpkins?
No.
They used turnips and potatoes.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the carvings were way creepier because it wasn't like a, with the pumpkin, there's enough real estate where you can have it cut all the way through. But these were more kind of carvings into the turnip or potato rather than like actually all the way through it, like in the pumpkin. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not explaining that well.
No, that makes sense.
And so they just look a little bit creepier, especially when you see like the teeth. It is a little trippy.
And you know why they use jack-o'-lanterns, right?
Is it to scare away anything? That's just a guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Scare away those evil spirits.
Interesting.
So traditionally in Ireland, they would, when they would carve them out of turnips or potatoes, they would leave them outside of their houses on Halloween night, and
so that was
used to scare away evil spirits.
So when I said they look scary, that was the point. That wasn't just like the aesthetic back then.
Exactly. And one of the main reasons why we use pumpkins is because when a lot of Irish immigrants came to the States, they still wanted to make these lanterns and celebrate their traditions, but they couldn't find enough turnips.
Right.
So they would use pumpkins instead.
Right. Irish people do love turnips and potatoes, though. Man.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. What do you know? Like how other countries celebrate Halloween?
I do. Yeah. We can go through some if you want. I have a lot of countries actually.
Yeah. Give me what you got.
We'll start in Asia. Let's start in Asia. The Chinese celebrate the Hungry Ghost Festival in mid-July, when it's customary to float river lanterns to remember those who have died. By contrast, Halloween is often erroneously called All Saints' Day, or less commonly, but more correctly, All Saints' Eve. Chinese Christian churches hold religious celebrations. Non-religious celebrations are dominated by expats. But costume parties are also popular for Chinese young adults, especially in large cities. So essentially, it seems like they don't celebrate Halloween, is what I'm getting at. And so they do costume parties, but that's just young people that just are now more aware of American culture.
That's fair.
And it just seems like a fun excuse to dress up.
Right.
But
well, I think the distinction here is that I think a lot of other countries have
take it more seriously also.
Yeah, but they also just have I would say it's like kind of a similar but different scenario. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where they have like a holiday, obviously usually on a different date.
Most other countries, though, because it do seem to take it more seriously than we do. Like there does seem to be, because there's a lot of religious correlation to it. And for example, in Mexico, that like Halloween is wrapped around Day of the Dead, which is has very heavy religious undertones to it, and it's obviously taken way more seriously than we take Halloween.
Well, I think that's also because your Halloween has nothing to do with remembering your dead family members in the United States.
We just take the dead theme and run with it as like that's what people talk about around this time is dead stuff. Right. Yeah. No, that's fair. But like I found this interesting. In Japan, Halloween arrived as recently as 2009. Like they're like, yeah, I mean, okay. It was not appreciated and only celebrated by expats. It seems like that's how this Halloween has spread. I mean, that's how this holiday has spread. Has just by like other people that missed their own traditions.
I will tell you though, in Kawasaki, Japan, they've actually had a Halloween parade for the past 21 years.
Interesting. 21 years.
Yep. And it's one of the biggest parades of its kind in Japan.
I remember. Oh, okay.
And this is interesting. You have to apply to be in the parade 2 months before the parade begins. Kind of interesting.
Do they? Is it like floats and stuff? Do they?
Yeah, I think it's like costumes and floats, stuff like that.
I'm typing in Kawasaki Halloween parade to Google. I want to see these pictures. Oh, this is quite a celebration.
I mean,
and they go all out. Those are some creepy Halloween costumes.
They do.
This is creepy as fuck. But it's good.
Yeah, they go all in for that parade, I think.
I think that's another thing that I've learned. Another way that Americans have bastardized Halloween, not bastardized, I'd say made it better in this sense, is that it seems like in most other cultures, even like whether they, no matter how new or old they are to Halloween, an important part of Halloween is that this shit actually has to be scary. Like, especially even in like Germany and Europe and stuff like that, like Halloween's not widely celebrated, but if it is, then it's going to be scary. Like they don't really do like the sexy costume or like the ironic, funny costume like we do in America. It's all like, if you're going to do it, it should be scary.
Have you ever done a scary costume?
No, but I never feel like putting that much effort in because one, it takes a little bit more preparation, and two, I don't like scary costumes. I don't want to have a eye dangling out of my face.
Right.
It's like, it took me 4 hours to do this. It's like, I'm not that committed to the holiday. This is just an excuse for me to get drunk off of someone else's free booze.
There you go.
By the way, shout out to Nolan for sponsoring our beer tasting segment for the next couple of weeks.
But yeah, I would agree with you though. I just don't. Yeah, I don't want to spend the time, the money, or the effort to do a scary costume. Plus, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of like scaring the shit out of people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't really. I don't get that much enjoyment out of that either. It's like it's not really doing much for me.
Right.
We can go through some other countries if you want, though.
Absolutely.
They don't really do the Halloween thing in Australia and New Zealand, by the way, just so you know.
Crikey.
Well, not crikey. That's a scary little. They already have stuff way scarier than anything that. It's like, well, I'm not scared of costume. We got most things here will kill you, from plants to animals to humans.
Right.
Well, not traditionally a part of Australian culture, non-religious celebrations of Halloween modeled. See, all of this is just modeled off of us Americans. They're like, oh, it seems like a fun excuse to party.
Right. Doesn't surprise me.
In Sweden, on All Hallows Eve, a Requiem Mass is widely attended every year at Uppsala Cathedral, part of the Lutheran Church of Sweden. Throughout the period of Allhallowtide, starting with All Hallows Eve, Swedish families visit churchyards and adorn the graves of their family members with lit candles and wreaths fashioned from pine branches. See, they take this shit way serious. I didn't even realize before I started doing research for this episode how much we essentially are like peeing on the concept of Halloween.
Yeah. Oh,
I did not realize that. Like, I didn't even realize Day of the Dead, the Mexican one, which that's the main sort of Halloween time tradition holiday that I'm aware of. I wasn't aware that was around Halloween time until I started doing this research.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I knew it was a thing. I just didn't realize it was at that time.
On a slightly related note, you need to watch the movie Coco.
I have. We've talked about this before.
Well, how did you not realize it then?
During
Didn't
that
put
movie,
two and two together, maybe.
they mentioned Halloween and Coco.
No, it's all about Day of the Dead, and I think
I know,
they
but I
talk
didn't
about the date.
I just didn't. I know it was about
mentioned.
Day
I
of the
don't
Dead. I just didn't realize that it was around October 31st specifically.
Yep. Yeah, it's right there.
But
would you mind if I
please.
discuss what they do in the Czech Republic?
Please, are you going to partake before you tell me what it is?
Well,
Tell me what it is first.
maybe,
Go ahead.
maybe,
Go ahead.
maybe. So I'm not really sure what right. I'm not really sure exactly what they do for Halloween, but they also have on November 2nd, Dušičky, which means little souls, or the official Czech name is Pamatka Zenulých, which is a remembrance of those who have passed, or All Souls Day. So on November 2nd, they go to the cemeteries and they decorate the graves of their fallen loved ones.
That's interesting too, because the Czech Republic tends to be is statistically
It's very non-secular.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Is that the word? I was gonna say. I was like, pagan's not the word I'm looking for.
No, not at all. No, non-secular. Yeah, I would agree with you, but I'm looking at pictures of it right now, and who knows? I mean, obviously, I don't have any loved ones who have passed in the Czech Republic, but I may go with maybe some of my colleagues at school, and who knows? It looks really interesting. And really, they go all out on their decorations of these cemeteries. It's really beautiful.
Do Americans have any sort of time where they remember the dead, like nationally, like that? I don't think we have anything like that.
I mean, you have like what Memorial Day, right?
Well, that's specifically for veterans, though.
For veterans, but for just normal family members, unfortunately, I don't think so.
Yeah. I get the feeling that we don't respect family as much as other cultures. Is that what it is?
Could be. It could be.
I guess I never really thought about that until we started doing this here pod.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either, but
is that I don't want to say that for sure. But that's
I just think we might have a different
flowing
way
through my head right now.
Right. We just might have a different way, I guess, of doing it. I don't know, but I would really agree with that. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure though.
Yeah, don't hold me to that, anyone. These are just
right.
Free-flowing thoughts and ideas. Like I sound like Kanye West. I'm just free thinking out here, okay? We need more people like me. I'm not afraid of you. Donald Trump is a brilliant man. Oh God. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit when I said that.
Well, Jared, do you have any other things you'd like to add about Halloween?
No, I don't.
Well, I have one last thing I wanted to add.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
Sexy costumes. We're gonna talk about sexy costumes.
Ooh, that would be a fun idea.
What are some sexy costumes? Nurse costume.
I mean, I feel like Halloween. If you look at any costume website, they can make almost anything.
But they're even like the dude sexy costumes. Like if you're going as like maybe like a caveman, or like Tarzan or something like that,
or a gladiator, or like 300. Yeah. I feel like
that's how I show off my
more
six-pack.
Sexy ladies. That's fair. I'm still rocking a keg here in the Czech Republic, so
when in
won't
Rome.
be any sexy costumes from me, but it is what it is. No, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the meaning of the word spooky.
Oh, you figured it out?
I did.
Wow.
Yes. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is so exciting.
I know, right? So here we go. So spooky So right here, this is according to NPR, which I think is a fairly credible
I
source.
trust NPR. 6 dead
Uh-huh.
in Bahrain
Right.
last weekend. 7
So
died in
here-
house fire in California. Sorry, I just...
So you're good. That's a pretty good accent, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm
Quinn
But yeah,
Kleinfelter.
so right here, spook can refer to a
Easy.
ghost. Apparently, it can also refer to a spy. But many of us know, which I did not know until we started recording this pod, it also sometimes can be used as a racist slur for black people. Somebody asked,
I think it's because you're so dark that like you blend into the dark and you spooked me. Is that what it is? People,
well,
racists are really
getting there.
scared of
We're
black
getting there. We're getting there. Don't
Okay.
worry.
oh
Don't
wow,
worry. Hold your horses.
I didn't realize you had
So-
the full story. Excuse me.
I got the full story. So here's the deal. Spook actually comes from, it's a Dutch word for
I'm gonna put
apparition
that on
or
the soundboard, by the
specter.
way. I'm gonna put you saying that on the soundboard.
Go for it. Go for it. But yeah, so spook coming from Dutch was first used around the turn of the 19th century. And then it developed other forms like spooky, spookish, and of course the verb to spook. From there, it seems the word was fairly innocuous until World War II. It started to refer to black people. The black army pilots who trained at the Tuskegee Institute were referred to as the Spookwaffe, German word for weapon or gun.
Interesting.
So once the word spook was linked to blackness.
Wait, but was it the
wasn't-
Germans that called them Spookwaffe, or that's what the Americans called them?
Yeah, I think it was the Germans because I don't think the Americans, I don't think the Germans had black fighter pilots. So why would the Americans call them the Spookwaffe, right? So I'm pretty sure it was the Germans.
Right. I mean,
I
the
think they
Americans probably
probably-
just call them the N-word, right?
Sadly, yeah. Yeah, the way soldiers, African American or black soldiers were treated in World War II, yeah, is really a shame. But that's a whole nother pod episode right there. But yeah, so apparently it wasn't the end of the racial slur spook. It had a renaissance in the 70s. But with the release of a novel and classic film, The Spook Who Sat by the Door by Sam Greenlee, the book and movie tell the fictional story of the first black man recruited and trained by the CIA. Interesting. So yes, so the title of the movie and of course the book both refers to spook meaning black person and spook meaning spy. It's a satirical piece of literature written by an African-American author in the years following the Civil Rights Movement. The use of spook was infused with an extra dose of irony. So there you go for that. So now using the word, NPR notes that you should be thoughtful about the fact that spook might now have a connotation of referring to a black person in a disparaging way, which you mentioned at the top of the pod, which I appreciate you mentioning that because I was completely ignorant and unaware of it.
That's the funny thing is. Oh, go ahead.
However, if someone says, if like they're startled or they jump,
You
and you
spooked
ask,
me.
did you get spooked? Then they say it's okay to say it.
Okay.
So there you go.
Could you say, you spooked me like a nigger?
Probably not. I would say that's pretty damn racist. That would be
I really had to stop and think, am I going to say this? I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to say it.
I was curious. I thought that's where you were going with that, but yeah, I feel like that. Hopefully, people aren't saying that. Sadly, I'm sure there are some. Anyways, that was our.
Honestly, I've never heard it as it doesn't seem like it's a commonly used one, as far as racial slurs go. But I do know that it has been used. I
feel like
I definitely heard it used as one before.
I feel like if somebody used it, I would almost be like, "What are you from the '70s? Like, what is this?"
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Right?
It does seem a little antiquated, doesn't it?
A little bit, I would say. But yeah, anyways, moving on. Now I think it's time to talk about our song of the pod.
Yes.
Very good call by you, Jared, to
Thank
pick
you.
this song. Do you want to give our listeners a little info about it?
Yeah, it's by the Cranberries, and it's called Zombie, which is, very spooky. Not in the racist way, though. What it is, the Cranberries is a very popular band from the 90s. Which is it from the 90s?
Yeah, I would say
The lead
so.
singer recently actually just passed away from, I think she had some addiction issues. But
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, I believe she drowned in a bathtub, but she was like hammered.
That's too bad.
But yeah, no, the Cranberries, the band was a very popular kind of. They're Irish, and so I chose them because it's rumored and believed that Halloween was started by the Irish, and so I thought zombie, Halloweeny, Irish, the Cranberries, Halloween. You get it, everyone. So I listened to the song while watching the video. Very powerful stuff. This is not related to Halloween at all, but other than the title.
Other than the title and the origin of the band.
Right.
Yeah.
It is about. This band was also popular kind of in the height of the IRA and the kind of the strong tension between the Protestants and the Catholics in Ireland. And there was a bombing in Ireland conducted by the IRA that killed 2 kids. Mm-hmm. And the song was kind of a response to that, and it was just talking about how terrible all the shit was. And it made me wonder, what the because that band was national or internationally popular. But it made me because I never really knew much about the Cranberries, but it did make me wonder how they were received in Ireland during that time.
I'm sure a lot of people really supported them, and I'm sure they faced some backlash too.
Yeah, I'm sure it was very polarizing. Like I'm sure it was either a very love-hate relationship of a fan base.
Yeah,
yeah,
I would say so for sure.
Especially when you're talking about such hot topics like the IRA and bombings and terrorism and stupid reasons for people to hate each other.
Yeah, I agree. Life is, I think, too short for us to be fighting about a lot of these things. Right here, I'm trying to look and see, and I found that Zombie. Right here, played the song on their appearance to the U.S. show. Oh, interesting. Saturday Night Live in 95. And Dave Thompson, who is a British author, said that it was one of the most powerful performances that Saturday Night Live has ever seen. But, yeah, I think it must have just probably had some backlash, but I think probably also they gained an even bigger following of people.
As a rock aficionado like yourself, are you a fan of the Cranberries?
Honestly, man, this is one of the few songs I know about them.
Did you know the song before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was clearly very popular. It had like hundreds of millions of views on YouTube.
Oh, it's super popular. I think most people know it from the chorus, I would say.
Yeah. It definitely.
Like if you were to play
I
the
wouldn't
chorus,
say I
people
knew
know
it. Like if someone had just randomly played it, I wouldn't say I knew it. But I definitely recognized, I was like, oh, I've heard this before.
Right. Oh, for sure. Well, Jared, I have quite a few Halloween-themed jokes, so I think it's time to hit some of these jokes.
I can't wait.
All right, Jared. Why didn't the zombie, speaking of zombie, why didn't the zombie go to work?
That's professional podcasting right there, everyone. That's how you do it.
That is. That's right.
That's how you transition. Because he was dead tired.
Oh, I like that one maybe even better than this punchline. He didn't go to work because he felt rotten.
Oh, no, I like yours. Yours is good.
All right. So this one's like a I found this one and I kind of edited it. I think I made it a little better. So what are a vampire's 2 favorite fruits?
I don't know. What is it?
A nectarine and
Oh,
also
yeah.
a blood orange.
Okay. I've heard the nectarine one before.
But I added the blood orange in there.
Okay.
I just figured that'd be good.
Yes. Have you ever just had a blood orange, like peeled one open and eaten a blood orange? I don't think I have.
No, I haven't.
There's this one Mexican restaurant that it's a BYOB restaurant, but they make these tequila mixes, and one of them is blood orange. And I always wonder, I was like, are you guys actually back there like juicing blood oranges? And if so, excuse me, where'd you buy those things? Anyway, give me another one.
What do witches ask for at hotels?
A cauldron sent to the room.
No, but they do ask for broom service.
Oh, I kind of like that one.
All right, I got a couple more for you. Like I said, I came with my Halloween jokes this episode. What does a ghost call his girlfriend?
Well, I hope she's not. I hope if she's black, it's not spook.
That's fair. He calls her his ghoul friend.
That's so stupid. I'm almost mad at myself for laughing at that.
That one's a giant. What can I say? So what do ghosts wear when they have blurred vision?
Blurred vision?
Mm-hmm.
What do ghosts wear when they have blurred vision? I don't know. What do they wear?
They wear spook tickles.
Ooh, spook tickles. I can't hear spook without thinking of racism now.
Fair enough. All right, I got one more.
Spookticles.
Here's my final one for you.
I like that one, though. I do like it.
What's a skeleton's favorite instrument?
I mean, is trombone somewhere in there?
Hit that ham horn.
Oh.
Hit that ham horn.
See, I hate stealing punchlines, but I also
it's
like...
all good. Yeah,
like
trombone. Yeah.
Yes.
So those are my Halloween jokes.
Use
for
those
this pod.
while you're trick or treating. Maybe that'll win you some. Like the old person will be like, "Take my last king size Reese's.
100 grand almond
Yeah.
joy.
100 grand. You're
Well,
really
Jared,
Slipping on gator piss.
there, Mr. Chinkins.
Calm down. Yeah. So now I think it's time for me to give you a new Czech word of the pod.
It is, yeah.
I have to admit, this one is not as practical or as useful as the other ones, but I think it is very related to our theme, and the word is strašidelný, which means ghostly or spooky.
Okay. Yeah, that's very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think it has to be useful. I mean, obviously we like the useful ones because that's kind of the point of it. But I think what's most important is that you're bringing new words every week more than anything.
Right.
And that's
for
very
sure.
fitting to the topic, so.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, sadly, it has come to that time where we are wrapping our
sad.
show up.
I just
I know,
imagine
right?
people staring at their phone like, no, just go a little longer, please.
They got to wait, 3 days for the next episode to drop?
I
Those
believe
are
so,
long
yeah.
3 days.
Yeah. Just put it on
We
repeat.
appreciate your patience, everyone. That's for sure. Well, our quote of the pod is actually from a very famous Halloween movie from the 90s in the United States called Halloween-town. Have you ever seen it, Jared?
Who's in it? No, I can't. I haven't. I don't think
I
I've
think
heard
it
of
was played a lot on Disney.
I want
on
to
the
see
Disney
who's in it.
Channel.
I'm gonna Google it.
Google it.
Hello.
So the quote is, magic is really very simple. All you've got to do is want something and then let yourself have it. That's from Aggie Cromwell from the movie Halloween-town.
Is Aggie Cronwell the name of the character?
I think so.
My internet's messing up again, so I can't look it up.
Anyways, it's a very, very famous show from the movie from the 90s called Halloween-town. And actually where it was filmed, I'm pretty sure every year they actually will redecorate the city. Yes, so Halloween-town is a real place. I just found it on Google. It is a real place. Yes, it was filmed from the Disney Channel. And it is in Oregon.
Salem?
No, it was filmed in the small town of St. Helen, Oregon.
Okay.
And they loved the setup so much, they recreate it every year for people to come visit. The tradition has been going on since the film released back in 1998. So 20 years.
One thing, that's crazy. I mean, they're probably hoping to keep that going as long as they can.
Oh, I'm sure.
I have not heard of that movie. Maybe I've seen it if my internet was working. I have a question for you. We didn't talk about this before. It's a little late, but I'm curious. How do you feel about haunted houses, haunted hay rides, haunted corn walk mazes?
Oh, that's a great question. We definitely should have touched on that earlier. I'm glad you brought it up. I don't like them.
Me neither.
I just don't. Because the funny thing is, like,
I've never
the
been to one, to
concept
be honest
of
with
it. Okay, I've been on haunted hay rides. I don't do corn mazes. That just freaks me out.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd get lost in there for hours. I've also only done a few haunted houses. And the thing about haunted houses is you literally know when you turn that corner, something is going to jump out at you or something might come behind you. It's still fucking scary every single time.
Of course. It's like, just because I know it's coming doesn't mean I'm still not scared, which is kind of I mean, it's cheap scares. Have you been to ones where they have like people that have like chainsaws that aren't connected to anything?
Oh yeah,
with no chains on them and stuff.
There was a haunted hayride where we were chased by a guy in a chainsaw. Had like the Freddy mask on, or not Jason mask on.
The haunted hayride is with a tractor, not with a horse, right?
Usually a tractor.
Okay, because I feel like the horse would be, speaking of spooked.
Right.
It's like that. That horse would be going insane, kicking everything.
Oh yeah, it'd be bad. And I've been to. There's a really popular kind of different. They have like 3 or 4 different types of haunted houses at. I believe it's called Wired's Orchard. It's in Michigan. It's an apple orchard, and they have like a couple barns that they like make into like a haunted house, and then they have this other room that I think they use for like, I don't know, probably like cleaning the apples or something. But it's like this white building, and they turn it into like a haunted, like hospital or something. It's really creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that. The hospital is a great place for scary things to happen.
Oh no, it wasn't a hospital. It's like a haunted insane asylum.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, that's way worse.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So yeah, no, I don't do those. I did them when I was younger, and they just I don't do them.
Well, you probably did them because you were younger, just because you had friends that wanted to do them.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, and you were more
caving into peer pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
What can I say? What can I say? Yeah,
luckily most of my years where that would happen, I was in Germany, and they don't really have those in Germany. I don't think.
I do like watching Halloween movies, though, listening to like some different Halloween tunes. Like, obviously, the classic is Monster Mash.
Halloween tunes?
Yeah, like the Monster Mash and like...
Dude, I've really lost a lot of respect for your musical taste. Like, I thought you were like a musician. You're classically trained guitarist.
What's wrong with getting a little festive with my music sometimes?
The
you
Monster
shit
Mash?
on me when I tell you I like Christmas music, too?
We'll get to that in a couple months. But yes, I will.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a lot of opinions on Christmas music, but we'll save that for Christmas. That might be a
fun episode to do, by the way.
Well, we could do one just about Christmas music, probably. No, but it's just Monster Mash. And what's other Halloween music besides for Monster Mash? Do you listen to like Somebody's Watching Me, the Michael Jackson's I Always Feel Like, or like Thriller or something like that?
I was gonna say Thriller.
Are those Halloween songs?
I mean, I would say you could put them in a Halloween playlist, yeah.
Do you make a Halloween playlist?
I got Spotify, man. People already made it. I don't have to.
Right. Okay. Because
you go on YouTube and type in Halloween playlist.
I'd just be interested to know what's on a Halloween playlist.
I'll send you some links.
That's the thing. Also, episode. I don't use Spotify. You know, I don't let other people curate my music for me. I'm not a conformist.
That's true. As you said earlier, Jared, you're a free thinker.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's right.
We should abolish the 13th Amendment.
Oh, God. that was just another level. Anyways, that was our episode on Halloween. We hope you enjoyed it and hope you all have a safe, fun, and happy Halloween. Please let us know what you think about Halloween, what you've been doing. What are your favorite Halloween candies to enjoy?
Costumes.
Your favorite Halloween costumes. What were you saying, buddy? Sorry?
I said costumes.
Oh, yeah,
I said what you just said. What I'm saying is I shouldn't have said anything.
No worries. But yeah, so enjoy your Halloween, everyone. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Please follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. Tweet at us at Untranslatable1. Shoot us an email at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. And also take a look on our Twitter page for our Song of the Pod coming out when this episode drops. We thank you all so much and have a great Halloween.